Welcome to day 37, and it's Benevento time. Now this city, which isn't looking like much right here, but you understand we're in a town that's more than 2,000 years old. This city was originally founded by the Samnites, and in 268 BC, the Romans conquered it. And they renamed it Beneventum. I'm not saying it, it's Latin. Beneventum, which means good wind. And so we haven't gotten inside, but this is from the outside, just looking at the upper floors here to the theater, and then you can see the giant blocks down below here. It's one thing to remember is every single stone you see, somebody put that there by hand. Every single one of those. So let's just zoom in, for example, on this. Each one of those lines is a brick. Somebody put that together, and it's still standing more than 2,000 years later. So there were 25 arches for each of the 3 levels, and you can kind of notice the this is supposed to be a theatrical mask. It was the keystone on the arch. And this one's the male one on the left, and the female one you can kind of tell on the right. And that is where the actors would enter. Well, actually not the actors. The audience would come in to the stadium and sit down in the seats. They were built in the 2nd century AD. At least that's when they were installed, and they're made of limestone. When you look at masks like this, and you realize how intricately carved and how heavy they are. I mean, look at that. Look at that stone. That is a thick stone to move. So you can see how ornate that detail is. And I'm going to try and pronounce this for you. But this is called the Tedium Sidicinum. It's the cornices that adorn the openings of the 3 orders of the Benevento Theater, okay? So, just a little fragment here. Here's an example of that cornice, okay? And you can see the 3 different levels on it. 1, 2, 3. And it went all the way around the theater. Okay, this is known as African marble, and basically what it is characterized, I'm reading this, so give me a break here, okay? Unlike the antique yellow marble used for columns of the first order, African marble is a type of brecciated marble with a dark background, usually black, with the inclusions of different sizes and colors. Although the quarries were located near Smyrna, currently in Turkey, the marble was defined as African. In the past, it was incorrectly identified with the marmor Chium, which was another type of marble from the island of Chios, Greece. The marble received yet another name, marmor from a consul Lucio Luculio, who imported it for the first time in Rome. That's pretty. That is very beautiful. Imagine that pretty much everywhere. Look at how perfect that arch is. So I get the feeling that this is non-restored stadium seating here for the theater. Okay, they're working obviously on the stage, so you have to pardon the noise. And then this is restored right here, which I'm not too happy about. But now some of it is not restored. Obviously, these bricks down here, you know, they put in the railing, but you can, those bricks are probably original. Or maybe this area is just more destroyed than the rest. Either way, I haven't found anything to tell me otherwise. Now, let's talk about this theater a little more. So, it was started under Emperor Trajan, finished under Hadrian in, I think it was like 168 AD, and then in the 200-210 area, it underwent serious renovations under Caracalla. You can see some porticos right there on the both, you know, right here and right here. So you can imagine as well the columns going up as you know, 3 stories high. I mean, that's at least 1.5 right there, but even further, as well as columns probably on the outside is going up higher. You see all those porticos on the you can see the indentation right there, right there. Here, I'll zoom in for you a little bit. So I'm not saying those were the columns, I'm saying the columns were on the outside of those, is what I would probably presume. So I just want to show this here real quick. We have an illustration of what it probably looked like back when it was built. So you can see all the columns in the front, the 3 rows. You get the idea. So it helps if you read everything before you start making a video about it. And I was wrong. So these are actually steps or part of the seating, I presume. But so this church was built in 1782, and in 2015 they were able to renovate under it without disturbing the church to expose this area right here, the whole area. Which, okay, great, but I want more. So the theater was actually destroyed in an earthquake in 375 AD, which is why we have all these columns that have been destroyed. So now we have this slab, and basically, because they found 2 more of these similar, this is basically saying, just calling out Caesar's titles and everything, and son of this, and Pontifex Maximus, high priest, and all that. But probably for Trajan, is my understanding. Here you can see the Caesar part. And then the IMP is for, you know, emperor. And then you've got Nerva. I mean, it's easy to decipher. I'm not going to do the whole thing for you here, but I love more of the artwork. For example, like just how detailed that is, how precise, how the C comes down just like that right there, just a little bit, just the slight indentations that make it beautiful and artistic. So we're going over to the theater now, or not the theater, sorry, the Arch of Trajan, which I'm dying to see. Probably a victory arch, which is going to be awesome if it's depending on the condition. But look at this dome that we're walking by here, by the way. Just beautiful. This is what it makes Italy, Italy. So we came down there. Saw this. Now we're going to go through the graffiti tunnel of death to the beautiful stairs beyond. So this is the Arco de Sacramento, which is the entryway into the Roman Forum here in Benevento, and it has lost all of its marble covering, as well as the two statues that would have been in the porticos adorning it. Since 2009, we're going to go in there, try and go in. Since 2009, they discovered a bath complex in there as well. You can see what there used to be and how it's been incorporated. It's too bad we can't see what it was. So I think this is the best we're going to do. I don't think it's open, but what a beautiful complex. So this is one of a pair of red granite obelisks that was erected in 88-89 AD under the reign of Domitian. They were flanking the original entrance to the temple of Isis, the Egyptian goddess. It was erected to commemorate Emperor Domitian's return from the Dacia and another war in which they were victorious. This is Obelisk A, and it stands at almost a little more than 5 meters tall. Obelisk B is somewhat destroyed and is in a museum. So this is what Benevento looks like in the main area, and I gotta be a little honest, kind of a dead zone, but it's a nice little walk. It's be great for rollerblading or bicycling on. And there it is, the beast. Finally we get to this sucker. I mean, just look how big that is from here. Massive. All right, let's get to it. Okay, so the arch is dedicated to Trajan after the wars, after his military campaign between 114 and 117 AD. Inscribed on it, basically it says the mightiest prince, because Trajan basically expanded the Roman Empire to its height. It had never been that big, it would never be that big ever again. Of the statues up there, you've got the Roman people, you've got the Roman Senate, covered in marble. It's got limestone underneath it, and it's also showing Dacia, Mesopotamia, representations of those. Basically everywhere he went and conquered to hold the line on the frontier and the Roman Empire. So if you notice, I'm going to point something out here, okay? That face on that statue, I'm zooming in right now, the one right in the middle, okay? That face is very similar to the face 2 down right there in the middle as well, and in front. I'll tell you why, because that's Trajan, okay? So that's the Emperor Trajan. He had like a bowl cut and a big old nose. He was only half Roman, so he basically looks like a foreigner, and in fact he was probably the first foreign outside, in fact not probably, he was the first foreign emperor outside of Rome to rule Rome, if that makes sense. So it wasn't directly from Rome itself. Once again, you see the man with the bowl haircut there. with the big nose in the middle, Trajan again. As we pan down, can't really see him in this one. However, if when we go over to the top right middle, or top right, yeah, I guess you call it middle, we're facing, it's facing west now. There he is again. If we pan down, facing west as well, I don't know why I'm doing that west thing again. I presume that's him right there in front, without the face. So here's this beautiful statue of the sword. Got this column right here. And none of the restaurants that I want to eat at or anything are open until 7. And I need to eat now. So I found this place. It's like an automated burger store. But what I really wanted to show you, it's good they got stuff in English, but the burgers are named after states.
Hey.
Okay.
There you go.
Grazie.
Thank you.
And here we go. I just got it.
Buona.
Buona. Grazie. And then look at this. The hot dogs are named after after NBA teams. The wraps are named after presidents. You got a great, I don't know, middle of North Michigan and Huron and Louisiana. And there's a Lisa for some reason. Ottawa, Canada. Beverly Hills. I don't know. Anyway, thought that was interesting for you. It wouldn't be a Kansas City burger if it didn't have melted mozzarella cheese on it. That's what we do in Kansas City. I want barbecue sauce. Okay, so a little quick update here before we end it for day 37. Wasn't a lot to really do. I showed you what I could of the archaeological sites that I liked. Sorry, I thought I heard something. So basically, I had homework today, which is to book the ferry tickets to. Why am I so yellow? Wait a minute, hold on here. All right, sorry if I'm really bright here. The sun is like right there. And anyway, to end day 37, I had to do a bunch of homework starting today, which was to book the ferry tickets to go from Italy to Sardinia. Okay, and then also figure out what I'm gonna do with the days in between and how much time it would take to get up to the port to go across on a ferry, and what schedule I want on a ferry, and how many days I want to spend in Sardinia. All that took a little bit of time. Also, at the same time, was contacting a guide to do a tour of the Monte Cassino. Sorry, I'm really close here. Somebody honking a horn. Italians. So, to do a tour of the Monte Cassino battlefield, I really wanted to see and learn more about that, and contacting the tour guide to get that done, and then to get the response. And I don't know, it may be on for Saturday with a New Zealand family, it may not. So, and if it's not, then I'm not hanging around. So what am I going to do between now and Saturday? So I've decided I'm on the outskirts of Naples, and tomorrow we're going to go back into Naples, which is back in like the Lion's Den. Anyway, and we're going to try and see the archaeological museum, maybe get some good food, and then go up to Cassino. Yes, that's the name of the town. And Monte Cassino, which is the mountain with the fort on it, but that's going to be included in the tour for Saturday if we get the tour. So that's kind of that's why the day's short. Some of the days have been short recently because it's been a lot of driving to get back up into, where people live. Nothing wrong with the South. It's just that there's a lot of the country that there's like nothing. There are people out there. It's just there's not really anything for tourism or for me to do. If you're living there, great, but nothing for me. So anyway, so this is going to be the end of day 37, and I'll catch you on day 38. Hopefully, I'll try to be there.